elements we're trying to show at E3 this year is basically give a good look at the first boss monster. You get an example of what he looks like, and he comes in, he smashes up the world. That's something that's in the game right now. Basically how the combat's evolved throughout the game and how much fun it is now, and also the ability to use the glaive, to use electricity and fire, and some of the puzzles that you didn't see before, basically. Since early 2007, some of the adjustments we've made in Dark Sector is the combat's just been enhanced dramatically. The combat's a lot more frenzied and more organic, and some of how the soldiers fan out and how they interact with the world and what they do to take out the player. It's a lot more fun to see how these things have developed throughout the development cycle. It's fair to say that Dark Sector has some examples and roots from Resident Evil 4 and Gears of War, where we take the combat style and the controls of how you interact with the character in the world. But what separates us is we throw in this like Zelda element into the game, where we've got these puzzles and things with this glaive, and you can grab electricity and fire and open up new doorways that weren't there before. And basically it's like, in those types of games, they pace the combat by giving you a new weapon, and then you learn how to use that weapon, and it changes the combat. In our game, we're giving you new powers on top of the new weapons, where you can interact with the world, how the enemies interact with you. So the fire, you can throw that into an enemy and expose a weakness, and then finish them off with a rifle, for an example. We've got a lot of things like that, where we throw in this puzzle element that you don't typically see in these types of games. Originally, Dark Sector was a sci-fi adventure, and at the time, sci-fis just weren't very popular, and I think it's partly because of the market. The market with these realistic graphics really want a more realistic nowadays setting, and that's what we're delivering on in this project. It's also easier for us to tell the origin story of a superhero if you're more based in a nowadays type of time frame rather than like in the sci-fi. You can almost imagine it happening, and that's something that people really latch onto with like a Spider-Man or something like that, where you can almost feel like it could happen to you, and it makes you feel more like you're attached with the character and it could be you. And that's one of the reasons why we went with that setting. And right now, the differences between the PS3 and the 360 are all on paper, and we're trying our best to make sure that they're really fun and exciting, rather than, because we're doing simultaneous, so we're trying our best. They both run great, they both look great. The PS3 is awesome, and so is the 360. They're both running really well. The thing that we're waiting to figure out is what's fun. You know, we've got some ideas for 6-axis, but we don't want to shoehorn something in. You know, we don't want to give you something that's just like a dodge maneuver or something that just, you know, it just seems like a gimmick, you know? So we're really trying to focus on something, otherwise we're not going to just do something half-assed. I would love to talk about the online stuff. It's going to be fun, but I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. It's a lot of fun. We take a lot of the unique abilities from the game and put it into a multiplayer event. So you'll see a lot of really cool things in there, but I can't go into details right now. So yeah, Dark Sector is just one of those titles that's really going to stand out, and I know you'll see that when you actually see it come out in January of 2008. It's got a really unique blend of different genres that really helps freshen this kind of genre, this third-person shooter genre, and it's just really epic. So you can look for it in 2008, January 2008.